The Crown Prosecution Service has ballsed up and, due to a catalogue of errors, has enabled a paedophile from Paul to walk free from court with a suspended sentence. 27-year-old James Collins was due to be sentenced at Bournemouth Crown Court on November the 18th after being charged with and pleading guilty to 2 offences under Section 1 of the Criminal Attempts Act after having sexual communications with what he thought was a 12-year-old girl. His offences included sending images of his pecker through the account, which turned out to be an undercover cop, and telling Polly he wanted to have sex with her, as well as instructing her how to masturbate. At one stage, Polly asked Collins, who at the time was an assistant manager of a care home, if she wasn't too young for him. He responded, "No, you look very grown up, by the way." Unfortunately, the CPS couldn't establish its elbow from his arsehole, and initially this led to a previous hearing being adjourned. The CPS initially had Collins pleading guilty to the offences under the Criminal Attempts Act, but wanted time to consider if he should instead be charged under Section 10 of the Sex Offences Act. This would change the wording of what Collins was being sentenced for, from attempted to cause a child to engage in sexual activity to causing or inciting a child to engage in sexual activity. The difference in wording might not seem like much to you or I, but it does carry a larger sentence, although we know most paedophiles will get light sentences anyway, regardless of what they're charged under. But appearing at Bournemouth Crown Court before Judge Pawson, the CPS had not organised the recharging of Collins for his sentencing, and so the CPS asked the court for a further adjournment. This request was not well received by the judge, who said that it would be unfair on Collins to be kept on the hook for longer. Poor pedo. I don't think anyone who does this kind of thing should even ever be considered to be unfairly treated, especially when the offence is so sick. Regardless to the fact that this wasn't a real child, the chances are he has done it before, and he will most definitely do it again. The judge said, "I will not be adjourning the case, and I will not exercise my discretionary powers to change the wording of the charge. The guidance says it should be used sparingly, and not, as Mr. Bradbury, Collins' barrister, pointed out, to rescue the prosecution from a mess of its own doing." Timothy Bradbury said that Collins had shown remorse and had a realistic prospect of rehabilitation. Don't they all? Judge Pawson told Collins, "There are some quite exceptional reasons why you aren't going to prison. Were it not for the sorry catalogue of apparent errors made in this case and the failure or inability of the Crown to put me in a fully informed position today, and I've already adjourned this case once, I would be sentencing you for Section 10 of the Sexual Offences Act, which has a starting point of 5 years in prison." Instead, Collins was handed just 12 months, suspended for 2 years, alongside 30 rehab days, 250 hours of unpaid work and 10 years on the sex offenders register. So although I can't really blame the judge too much in this case, albeit he did have the power to change the wording but refused, the CPS have fucked up and allowed a predator to walk free from court. Not that they will be bothered. They still get to go home safe at night and still get paid for their fuck-ups. But it shows yet again how the justice system is failing in its duties, left, right and centre, with no real concern for the damage that it's causing.